Okay. So what is the next order of... What's the next thing up for business, right? What is the next step? What is the next thing? So we have... So... There's kind of a lot of things going on here, right? I could do... I could do... Um... Mm-hmm. Right. These are nice. Oh, right, because I have... Yeah, there's separate... yeah, I don't have generic data types. So having generic systems is kind of unnecessary. Yeah, the screen tearing is really bad. We need to log out and log back in? Like, what the hell is going on here? What happens if I just close out all this? Close window. The screen tearing is really bad for me. I don't think it's showing up in the stream, but yeah, it's kind of real dog shit. So I'm gonna let it do that for a bit. I'm also going to say clear out Firefox. That's a thing. Okay. I'm gonna go for a bit, and I'll see if that helps. I think I might need to restart my X session, though, which means that I would have to stop. I'd have to end the screen for. Oh. Whoops. Yeah, screen tearings are still real bad. Okay. I'm just gonna deal with it. It's fucking whatever. I don't care that much. Yeah, I've also kind of changed my setup a little bit. I have a vertical. I have my second monitor be vertical now, rather than horizontal like I had it before. I still need to dial in like the actual, like it would seem like the tablet area is still too big. It's too wide. So, which means that it's too tall. Yeah. I'm just not entirely sure how I want to like handle the like all the screen stuff with it, because I want to keep it, I want to keep it vertical because then it's a lot easier to keep it next to my computer, right, next to my laptop. It's just easier that way, so I have it over here. Right. Just have it next to me. Which means that I should be a little bit more, I should be able to see chat changing more easily. Also, can I change if it pops up at the top or... Okay. I cannot. I don't know if I like that. Because the TTS would be great. I would really fucking love that. But I don't have access to... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like that though, right? Like, I don't know if I like the idea of the chat being so low, because I want it to be like, I want it, how do I put it? I want the new messages to be the most visible, so that they catch my eye, so that I fucking look at chat instead of ignoring chat all the goddamn time. I'm sick and tired of ignoring chat, you know. So alright, let's go to my stream manager. Because at least then I should be able to be a little bit more vigilant. Because if I have two things with chat, I should be able to see I should be able to see when I get a chat more likely, right? So what is the next? This is really fucking bad, dude. I knew I should have fucking restarted my computer. God damn it. I'll deal with it, I guess. Yeah, I think the floor and everything is still good. If I really wanted to, I could also do an overlay of tangents. Or with like some of the similar stuff that I was messing around with here, right? You know, x plus sine x kind of thing. X plus equals sine x. And just multiply it by large numbers and stuff, right? So that it cycles a bunch of times. And then you take the fractional component and then you do a bunch of stuff with it, right? Um, yeah, why am I getting such bad screen tearing? And it doesn't seem to be, I don't know, I can't tell if it's happening on stream or not. Doesn't look like it. Really bad on my end, though. Strange. I mean, I guess I'm kind of okay with it. I don't know. You know, I guess VSync would be really good. If I cared enough about that. There's nothing I can do about the screen tearing. Let's see, is this something that I like or not? Yeah. This really does look like stone. I think I could do... Okay, so we have that. We have that. This is the main Lua. This isn't the... Go to the bottom. So let's find out what's going on here. It's the edge distance, wall distance is fill. And the get... Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Alright, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I could... do this. Come on. So this is quite a bit larger. Quite a bit larger, okay? So I feel like this is a lot more irregular. I mean, it should be a lot more irregular, right? Yeah, we have the splotch size of that. Because we have that, okay, yeah, times 2.0. You can change, like, how... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I like this a little bit more, honestly. It's a little bit less uniform. There is the whole 90-degree thing, but because I'm making one... I mean, hmm. I mean, is it necessary as well, right? Um, because I don't think it is. Because this is very chaotic. You know, there's some regularity that we see like here, and like a bunch of pluses and stuff going on, which I guess is fine, right? Like it's gonna be nigh impossible to like get rid of all of the regularity if I'm using both sides, right? Like it's gonna be really really rough to try and like do these things, right? So it's like these splotchy areas, these areas here are super nice, right? And I think the only way that I could get more chaotic is if I did X based off of Y, and then I did Y based off of X, instead of P prime based off of P, right? Because P prime is So I think that would be the best way of doing it, right? So P equals alright, so here. Well, let's just do so vec2 p1 is equal to vec2 0.0. P1 dot x is equal to p2 dot x plus sine of phi times p2 dot y. P1 dot y is equal to p2 dot y plus cosine of phi times p1 dot x. This should be way more chaotic. It should. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. See? It's a lot more irregular. A lot less patterning. Yeah. I mean, sure, I'm not entirely sure if I like this. You know? Like, there's a lot going on here, and why is my shit fucking on goddamn fire again? So frustrating. Um... Yeah, because it'll just be like super chaotic and stuff, right? Lots of stuff in there. I could also say, I don't know, tan. Ooh. This is not what I want. But it is fascinating. Very neat. Very interesting. Happens if I say okay, let's find out. Nande. Interesting. Hmm. Yeah. I think I like this, I think I like the A10 a little more. Sure is interesting though. Wait. But the A10 isn't... The A10's not going to do anything. That's what I was expecting. Okay. Um. Hello, hello. Yes, my love 2D 3D game. It's coming out. It's coming together. I'm just kind of messing around with this floor texture. Not like super pleased with how it looks. So I'm just kind of mucking around, testing some things. Because like I could do. I think if I do what Kosh, Kosh. I think Kosh is it. What? Nande? What do you mean? um. Is Finch. Is Caution Sin not available? Nonde. Because 8-hand's not going to really do much of anything. Right. I don't think there's really much of a way to make it do anything. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess this looks good enough. Good enough for government work, I guess. Not like super pleased with it, but meh. I don't know why I'm like so worried about it. Because there's like a lot of things that I really want to do that I can't, and because I want to do like I'd really love to do some gradient noise. I'd love to do cellular noise. I'd love to do lots. Alright. I mean, I could also do p1.x. Cos phi times p1.y. p1.y plus equals cos f phi that is interesting and far worse. Hello, Arthur. Humla. I don't know. Ooh. Interesting. This reminds me of, doing alright. How you doing today? How is the skunker? This reminds me of, like, H.R. Giger-esque stuff. Very Giger-esque. Not what I want, though. So I think this is gonna be it. But there you go. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I don't have the time to watch One Piece. Fuck that shit. I do not have the time to watch One Piece. Because that shit is an investment. Ugh. Oh. My back. 94 degrees C. Fucking hell, dude. I need to figure out something with my laptop so it's not setting itself on fucking fire constantly. I am at 50 followers now. I have an excite. I'm excited about it. Alright, so I have that. So what is the next step? What is the next step? We got the wood. We got the bricks, we got the floor. Cause I wanna get something more done by Friday. Like by EOD tomorrow. By like end of day tomorrow. I wanna have something more, right? Oh, they did. They found a new dinosaur. Is it the Licholotopus, also known as the lesbian dinosaur? Let's see. Kinda, I don't know. Nice, 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 nice. I'll have to look into it. I like dinosaur stuff. You know, if you think about it, Dino Nuggies. April 1st Taurus. April 1st. Oh, you motherfucker. You son of a bitch. I fucking hate you. That's a good one. I mean, I still like lick a lot of puss. Personally. But you know, if you think about it, dino nuggies are actual dinosaurs. So we be eating dinosaurs all the time. I want my dino nuggies. I want to eat my dinosaurs. What do you think I should do next, though? Because I'm not entirely sure what else I need. Because I need to have... I mean, I need to have a goal, right? Get the thing, leave. So, like, a spawning and an ending. What happens if I just follow... Yeah, I think if I follow... If I follow one wall, I should be able to get to the other side. Should be able to break on through to the other side. I mean, it's a horror game, so, you know. It is a spooky game. Fuck, I also need to handle the music and audio and all that shit too. I don't know if I want to do Cadaver Orchestra though. I don't think Cadaver Orchestra... Not... I don't think it's a good song for this. Earworm definitely isn't. Opus 1 definitely isn't. I'll have to think about what kind of, let's see. Let's see. I mean, Possibly. Like the main thing that I wanted to do is that it's not really like an item that you're getting. Because like in the very first build, it's not an item. You just find the area, um, and then leave. um, yeah, you find like a thing, and it starts eating the whole world. Um, and there's a bunch of things along with that. That I'm not so sure I'll be able to do. Because I don't know if I can access the frame buffer. Alright, like I don't know if I can read the frame buffer. And if I can, I don't know what kind of performance hit it's going to take. But can I just... Reading from canvas off screen. Okay, so I can do... I can... Like vertex or uniform buffers for compute style tasks rather than simple pixel reading. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like I was thinking, because like a big part of it is just messing with like a huge part of this game is toying with what you can do with you know, it's just toying with what you can do with whatchamacallit, with the rendering, right? So if I did golden, I think it's a golden noise function. Golden noise. What is the golden? I'm more screen dash function slash PNRP RNG algorithm frequently used in shaders that uses the golden ratio as a for do 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 do. Oh damn. What is it? Fractan distance? Ah, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. So here's something that we could do real quick. Go all the way to the bottom. Color equals fog. Call equals task. Let's delete that. Let's do this. Let's do float noise is equal to fractional component of the tan of the distance of the UV times phi times UV times times some shit. Right. Distance of UVT times phi times phi times UVT dot x, right? And then what we could do is we could say call times equals sine of noise. Well, actually, call is equal to a vector 3 of noise minus God damn. Helps if I actually have the full thing. And ooh, hello. That is not quite the same. Very interesting. This is probably gonna actually. There we go. So yeah, we have this. This is the bitrate destroyer 9000. Congratulations, you won't be able to see shit. But this is the way everything was supposed to work, right? This is also static. It's not like updating or anything like that. It would be I'm also really bad at reading my fucking chat, aren't I? Um, where world fixing items should be. Each one use should be there. How many times have you been here only to be forced to return to grab the rest? Yeah? Yeah. I mean, basically, like, the whole idea of, you know, despite your efforts, you still fail, kind of thing. So, yeah, here's the bitrate destroyer 9000. So this is basically what the whole, you know, what the entire game is supposed to be looking like, right? Literally just white or black pixels, and yeah. So I don't know why it's not like updating it properly. Come on. Let's close out and then go into the stream manager and take a look at that shit properly. Shall we? Yeah. So I don't know if that. Yeah, I don't know if that's destroying the bitrate or not. Because like I'm still under like 2K, right? So like it's fine. I mean, my CPU's not like the most pleased, but it's also not the worst thing in the world. So yeah. So this is literally how I wanted everything to operate, right? So yeah. But yeah. So this is, yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. So I want so I do want, you know, quite a number of things to be, you know, just at least a little bit different. For some reason this looks bluer now after doing the static. White noise. I mean, that and also like T needs to be a thing. Right? Like uniform T needs to be a thing. Well, I mean, I should say that. Right. Because then here I want to do load that update. Screen send player pause, right? Because then here I could do screen dot send time. Oh wait, local time is equal to 0. Oh shit. Time equals time plus dt. God fuck damn it. What do you mean? Uniform float time. It's right fucking here. Re. Why? What do you mean by it doesn't fucking exist? The uniform is right there. I have it called time. So why are you not saying it? Why is it not working? Because I have the uniform right there. It's right here. Float time. So here we go. Now this is the bitrate Destroyer 9000. Pretty good frame rate too, I must say so. Does make things like pretty interesting though. Hopefully after extended periods of time, the noise function doesn't degrade. Oh, right. Because if the uniform is not being used, if I'm not using the uniform, It is not updated. So one of the things that I could do is I could also have a backspace, right? I just say, you know, when you hit backspace, it turns off the static, right? For people who want to show this on stream and things like that, you know, they can turn on the static, or it could start with static on, and then you hit the backspace button and you turn off the static. Um, the the noise function is holding up pretty good. I think in one of my other builds, it was already starting to degrade. So I'm pretty pleased. All right. So now here, what's even cooler is that there's only white or black pixels. There is no gray. Gray does not exist. There is no gray. It also means that the patterns in the floor texture, you can't tell that they're there anymore. Literally every single little bit of detail is gone. There's no more detail. All the detail has been erased. So that's cool. Yeah. Oh, guess what? I get to have the house to myself for like a week, so I can be loud and obnoxious at night, without having to deal with anyone. Well, I mean, other than my neighbors, but they're always loud and obnoxious at night anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. Hello, hello. You're being pretty chill right now, so I might turn down my volume a little bit. But yeah, this is the intended aesthetic of the game. So also, this is a really good way of eliminating stuck pixels. I'll have you know. Because I had a problem with stuck pixels on the monitor like in 2018, and yeah, I just looked up a YouTube video, a high quality YouTube video of. Well, actually, no. I think what I did was I found an application that did it. That would generate white noise like this, and you just move it around. You just move the window over to the area of the stuck pixel, and just let it running for like a couple of minutes, and it usually would fix it. So yeah, here we go. So this is very nice. So we have the floor, which any patterns are basically completely erased now, which is really cool. Yeah, so like any issues with anything is pretty much gone. Which is pretty sweet, to be honest. Cool. which also means wait, isn't there like a mix function? I think it's mix A, B, and then T. And then I could just make I think I could just do that. Yeah. Because I could do pull and then I can just say I could just do this, right? And then right. Which is actually what we want, right? So what we want to have is actually do static um, um, do static is equal to true. This should still work. It does, it works just fine. Let's go down here and actually say phi times time plus, hold on, instead of a shift I is actually a so I'll start much better. I don't think I have to worry about screen tearing as much anymore either. I mean, there's a little bit of wonkiness. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't really like about this, right? It's not like a true hash. I want to do a true hash with a split mix hash algorithm. You know, basically a hash algorithm based off of the split mix pseudo random number generator algorithm that which would be super easy to implement, but I can't do it because I don't have the right version of OpenGL available because I'm using Love2D, so it's set at 2.1, which does not support bitwise operators, which does kind of suck, but it's fine, right? I could literally write everything to a texture or like stream in random number generation. That would be horrifically slow. Right. That would be literally the worst way of doing it. Even if I could write a ultra optimized, you know, split mix 64, split mix 32 algorithm, I don't think I can do it because I don't think I have access to the bitwise operations in Lua. I don't have access to the same kind of stuff that I normally would, and not only that, but also I need them to be floats, and in order to do that I need to cast and recast, right? I need to reinterpret text, which I don't have access to. Yeah, because I don't think I have reinterpret casting. Oh. Nonde. Where am I? Interesting. I don't think I've ever been in that room before. Yeah. I feel like I should have taken a nap. Fuck my ass, dude. Okay, so I don't think I need to do. It's like a big part of the chaos is that it needs to be greater than 1. Right? For a lot of the static to work. A lot of the chaotic nature of it. Okay, so let's start doing the local time equals there. Because I could do. Because I can do like a lot of stuff. I want the. Oh, like the backspace, probably. I'll put backspace. So local will do static is equal to true. Alright, so this one is actually static is equal to not do static equals not do static. Screen and do static. Do static. Oh, fucking super cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you can just toggle it with so you can just toggle them with that or that. Just kind of crazy. Because this has more true color than this does. This looks very blue and purpley to me, and this looks very white. This looks like it has color, even though I know that under the hood it doesn't. But you know, you can toggle it on and off. I can toggle on the deck or not, or not with, you know, just a push of the button. Mm. Yeah. So. I'm pretty sure I could do a lot of other really cool things as well. Because I could do like a distance thing, right? Meaning that it would shoot it out. It'd be like a pulse that turns it on and a pulse that turns it off. Could do that. I mean, it'd be cool, but I don't really care enough to do that kind of craziness with the so. Yeah, I mean, it's literally just a toggle over button. And it doesn't crash because it is indeterminate, so it does both. Right, it does both sides. Like, it is actively being used, so it's since it's using it, you know. Like, yeah, sure. Like, this makes it like impossible to see. With the static on, it's like your visibility is super limited, which I'm okay with, right? I'm okay with that. I'm gonna see, you know, possibly what other things I could do with it, because I could do, what was it? Because in here, right? So the noise is that. N2 is equal to, what is it? From, I want to map 0 to 1. Yeah, I want to map 0 to 1. Oh, actually. Pole 2 is equal to, what is the POW of pole from, I want 0 to 1 to be 0 to, let's rederive some more math stuff. Let's do some more math stuff. Hello. Why is it so... Why? Why is it so fucking wide, dog? Why is it so big? Whatever. That's like super fucking big. I really don't like this. This is really bad. Okay, so we want to map, you know, 0 to 1. Okay. I cannot use that. The width is like way too fucking wide. Like all kinds of fucked up. Yeah. It should be... Yeah, this sensitivity is like way off. Oh. Really? I mean, still huge, still absolutely gigantic, but I mean, I'm okay with that. Alright. I feel like that's... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Like it's fine. It's usable at least, right? Hello? God damn. So we want to map, you know, approaching 0. I want to map that to infinity. And then approaching 1, I want to map that to 0. Right. So what is this going to look like? 1 minus x over x. One minus 0.5 on 5 is equal to yeah, so it's 1 minus x over x. What this will do, I mean, if I raise call to the power of 1 minus n over n, then that will map it to a curve that looks something like this, and everything in here And this will be equal the area well equal to 10. So that's the math behind it, right? Means wait, is it the noise to the power of or the other way around? Because what I want to do is I want to sample. Right, I pick a random number and then I raise that number to the power. Okay. Yeah, it is actually noise to the power of 1.0 minus all divided by all. And this is close to. It should work. Fuck. This is a little bit different. I think this is a little bit nicer on the eyes. Right, this isn't quite as harsh. It still gives the chaos incarnate and all that stuff, right? We can still turn it off, right? This seems a lot more similar, right? So we can still turn it off for those streaming and wanting to save their bandwidth, their bitrate. But you can just do that if you want to, and whatever, right? There are going to be a lot of systems that are going to require that the static is on and stuff, you know? But for the most part, you know, all that stuff is going to be like that, right? So yeah, it all looks the same. So yeah. So we can turn off the turn on and off with backspace. Right, so you can see how things look with the static, without the static. Because like without the static, this kind of looks like shit. The static, it looks like great, right? Because you can't tell. The granularity of it makes it, you know. And then I could also say like home or do, equals and, all that. We have backspace. I could do home. I could do, well, I think I would rather have backspace and delete, question mark? I don't know. So, but yeah, do that. So I can take a look at these a lot better. I think if I did, what happens if I have, say, the that's cool. That's really cool. I was not quite expecting it to just work out of the gate. Interesting. So this does work with color. In fact, it works really fucking well with color. It works incredibly well with color. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, because I'm still seeing some yellow intermixed with all that. Oh. Crazy. Why is this working so damn well? This is insane. This is fucking crazy. This is dope. This is sick. I'm super... This is absolutely incredible. This is fucking incredible. This is so cool. This is way better than I was expecting. Cool. Okay, well then, fuck me, I guess. Yeah, it just works out of the gate. So that just fucking functions. Cool. I should probably change the controls to WASD rather than ESDF, but I don't know, I like ESDF. There's gonna be, a lot of stuff like this, right? You know, I used to play a first-person shooter with the trackpad. It was Zonatic, which is actually free and open source. You can contribute to it if you want. It uses the Dark Places engine, which is an offshoot of Quake 2. I think either Quake 2 or Quake 3. Can't remember. But yeah. A lot of it is written in Quake C. At least a lot of the logic and stuff is. This immediately makes it whiter. Like, immediately removes all saturation for me. Like, immediately, it's like instantaneously cleaner. Weird. What is up with my screen? Why you do that? So I have graphics. I think therefore I'm dumb. I think, and I probably shouldn't. No. Fuck. Ah. Yeah, everybody stretch. Oh. Hello, Awen. Pretty much. Hello, Awen. How is you? Yeah. We got. This is the actual way it's supposed to be. Supposed to be done. This is a lot less aggressive than doing it the other way. And this also supports it supports why can't I fucking think? It also supports color. Well, actually, I don't know if the other version supports it. I just kind of assumed that it did, instead of actually Spec 3 all 3 is equal to this sign what is equal to, yeah, the sine of color well,
I need more caffeine. My blood is not thin enough.
it's going alright. And 0.5 plus 0.5. I should see if this actually works. Okay. There's some things going on there. Ah, right. I'm still doing call 2 instead of call 3. Okay, see, so this is just strictly black and white. And I don't know if this supports color. So, let's go up to... Well, I'm glad to hear that your day was only moderately irritating. I would say that's progress. Return UVT. When in doubt, ooh, it does support. This is really cool. This is really fucking cool. Okay, so my algorithms fully support. I mean, these are literally 3-bit colors. Right? There's only 8 possible colors I can have. I did to prove a point. I could say I can make all of these just do wall text. Right? Or I could say this, and then I can go down here. I can say all LGBT, right? We can have this, right? Like this is, you know, vaporwave, vaporwave, vaporwave. Oh, vaporwave. If you have more coffee. So, this does work. I'm a little bit impressed. Oh, right, I'm not attenuating it at all. There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. Now I can better see things. Well, I mean, we can't better. I mean, we can't. Yeah. We can more easily notice the changes and stuff. So that is definitely a good thing. A Gucci thing. Yeah, this is really nice. So that does work properly. Nande. Why? Nande. What? Ah, okay, so a little bit of strangeness there. Interesting. Why? Nande. Why is he being an asshole? Fuck. What? Okay. Whatever. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, I think that just so I could do that. Also do um I could do that, or I could do harsh, right? This is gonna be a build that I'm gonna use for, because like this is the first step of seeing if I'm getting, because I'm getting the basic movements down. So I have the basic movement, I have the I think what I want to do is have a bunch of different things that have to deal with the visuals, right? Because if I do that, right? If I do that, then what I could do is I could have I could really dial in the visuals, right? I think I'm going to stick with the current distance log that I have, the current view distance algorithm, the view distance calculations. I think I'm going to stick with. Simply because it's just super nice, right? I am thinking that I might want to do anti-aliasing, or I should say super sampling, or subsampling, I should say, right? But I'm not fully sure if that's something that I really want to do or not. Especially given the fact that this is going to be the normal. Subsampling is completely pointless, right? Because you're not like, right? I can just hide the aliasing like super easily. Just play with the static on, and then you don't have to worry about aliasing. So have that. So I don't know if I like this. Like I like this. Yeah, this texture. This texture is really nice. The texture is really fucking good. This texture came out really good. I mean, I still don't like it. But for like a couple of, but for like just a handful of but like for the case of like a couple of whatchamacallits, DVDs, with the doobly jams. Trig functions. Yeah, but for like a handful of trig functions, like this is fine. Alright. So, and this is a couple of trig functions too, technically. But, you know, like this is just a couple of trig functions. So, and that's really cool. It's very marble-y. It looks a lot like marble. It looks like concrete. It looks like a floor. Like this looks like a floor. Like it looks like cement. It looks like something. Very splotchy and shit. I don't really know how I'm gonna... Hello? Oh, cool. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, if you don't know what happened there, because the game froze, the delta time was super big, and it popped out inside of the wall. So, yeah, and because the center of my character model was inside of a wall, I couldn't move out of the wall. Yeah. So, I think the biggest thing to do that's kind of a bug, but that's like such a hard edge case. Right? Like, I could sweep the detection. But I also really don't want to fucking do that. Because, like, basically what I could do is I could do a raycast from, like, in the direction that the player is moving. Drop a raycast. And then effectively sweep the circle along that raycast. So that regardless of how bad the delta time is, right? No matter how obnoxious the delta time is, it will still, you know, properly detect the player, yada yada yada. Super ultra robust, you know, collision detection. I don't give a flying. I do not care about that, right? Because if you are lagging so hard that you're literally finding yourself inside of the wall a bunch, like, there's a problem. You know, I mean, this frame rate is dog shit right now. It is absolutely running like trash. Like, even without the static. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's identical performance regardless. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, now we're actually in the clear. I think it was the garbage collector or something. Woo! Individual medallion XPA. Goodbye. Spam detection. Thank you, Saribot. Yeah. So again, there's like a few things that I'm not like super thrilled with when it comes to the doobly jank with the doobly jam, but like it's fine. Like I'm fine with it. Like it's okay. It's fine, right? Um, mm, mm, mm-hmm. Okay, I think I know what was going on with it before. Because of like the UV part of the hash and all that is. Well, no, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Because the hash is separate. I mean, like the hash is on a per pixel basis for one. So I don't know why it was giving strangeness. In the whole system stuff. I don't know. I mean, because like I could do. I mean, I could do a clamp or something. Like it doesn't actually matter anyway, so. It was just for shits and giggles and just testing something anyway. Um, but I do want to do a little bit of a bio break and maybe get myself a snack of some kind. So I will be right back. Um, yeah. Y'all behave yourself. Or not. I don't care. I can't stop you. I be back. I have a cursed sandwich. Peanut butter, ranch, turkey, and white cheddar. Hmm. 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 Hello, diminished. Welcome, welcome. How is are you? Hmm. No, it really is. Um, ranch and peanut butter actually goes really well together. I did not put nearly enough ranch, but I also didn't want it to be all stuff. I didn't want it to be all nasty. Well, I hope you enjoy the tunes. If you have any questions about anything, whether it be about programming or my project or game development or whatever it is, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy my ramblings and whatnot. Hopefully, it's not too terribly distracting. um, so yeah, I'm mostly just focusing on some early visuals right now. I think because the visuals, like whenever you're doing a game, um, my own tunes. Oh, okay. Thanks. Aw, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Hopefully my music isn't too loud then. If you got your own tunes going. um, yeah. So I am focusing quite a bit on the visuals because a large portion of this game is the visuals. Just the idea of messing around with stuff. Nice. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. It's just white bat audio. You can find them on YouTube. All their stuff is DMCA free. So you can use it freely without any concern on Twitch and also on YouTube in full videos, live streams, personal or production stuff. Just as long as you're not like redistributing, like as long as you're not an asshole about it, you know, like it's fine. I am not using D-Lang. Is it still are my tags still saying D-Lang? Because if it is, that's incorrect. I'm actually using Lua with Love 2D, which is basically not a which is basically not an engine. I'm not I really haven't used like an engine in years actually. I think the last time I used an engine, last time I touched an engine was in 2020, actually. Yeah, I did like D-Lang. Yes. Yes. I did like D-Lang. I absolutely despised a lot Rust. Rust was a colossal pain in the ass. I could go for some soft tacos. That sounds delicious. Please, can we? Can you feed me tacos later? I would love that. Yeah, no, I've actually I've always had like a Pocket Linux. Rust is just so overrated. It's just that Rust is such an overrated language. Like I understand why it gained popularity so much. Oh, Cork! Awesome! Hello, Cork. I'm getting more friendos. Yay. And we're at 50 followers. I don't mean like 4 people actually show up to my streams. But it's okay. I don't mind it. Um, it's alright. I mean, I totally understand. Like, there's some people that I watched for like a week or so and then stopped watching. I mean, it's mostly just because I just got busy with doing my own streams and stuff. So, shit happens. It is what it is. Yeah, I totally like this floor texture is really good. The bricks are really good. I don't know what else that I want to touch up and tweak because I think the visuals are pretty solid. Maybe the corners and stuff. I feel like I don't have enough dials and stuff. I saw a taco, but uses flour tortillas instead of corn tortillas. Mad props. The community though needs to shut up and leave people alone. Yeah. Languages aren't unsafe. Code is, yeah. Yeah, it's really easy, especially with like the biggest reason why a lot of people were going over to Rust is because it allowed them to be fucking lazy with memory management. Like C++ does RAII, does Ray, which is super solid, right? But it's really only useful on the stack rather than the heap. So heap allocating you have to do manually, and it does open you up to writing bad code, but taco crunch. But crunching. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing is that the community just like it's the Rust community as a whole. The Rust community as a whole is this weird fucking like old school Arch community, right? Like old school Arch community or old school fucking Tumblr Reddit mod. It's very Reddit moddy. It's very Discord moddy. Just this weird fucking superiority complex bullshit that I don't agree with. Not to mention, it's also a colossal pain in the ass to do fucking anything in Rust. Like, it's so restrictive. It's just like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, shut the fuck up. Meanwhile, Lua, I can just do whatever the fuck I want in Lua. I can do whatever the fuck I want in C++. I can do most of the things I want in D. I can do literally whatever the fuck I want in Lisp. If I wanted to learn Lisp. I mean, fair. The problem with C++ devs is that they think because they're using a language that you have to know what the fuck you're doing, it means that you are somehow better than people when no. It's just you just have a different ecosystem to work in, right? And quite frankly, the C++ ecosystem is fucking dog shit. I hate the build path. I hate the build chain for C++. It's fucking dog shit. And the moment that Microsoft decided in their infinite fucking wisdom to tie debugging to fucking Copilot, it completely ruined C++ for me. I mean, fair. Fair. SCD.C out. What, you don't want to do standard C out? Come on. Right? I mean, it's just... C++ as a language is fine. Right? There's a lot of legacy bullshit in C++. Sure, it's not a very modern language. Like, it's showing its age. which I'm fine with. I'm fine with a language showing its age. A language is a language is a language. It doesn't fucking matter. What I'm not okay with is the tool chain and build chain for it is absolutely fucking crazy because you literally have to write your own build chain for every single project. That it doesn't matter, right? Even if you're using CMake, like it's just package management and library management is, and just like the entire build chain is fucking nauseating. I mean, there's the difference between C++ and C is mostly a lot of C++ has better intrinsics. C++ has access to just more easy access to certain data structures that make development a lot nicer. Like I personally really do enjoy C++. Like I like the language as a whole. I also like D as a whole. I can't remember why I stopped using D though. I also need to change my fucking tags too because I'm not doing D-Lang anymore. You know, it's just I don't know. Like I want to write my own language, right? Like I want to write my own language. If I go into is it tungsten? All right, notes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm also thinking about writing my own language too. Um, it's like having, and there's like certain like there's certain ideas that I want with tungsten, right? Um, because I want tungsten to have like I want to make like I know it's going to be mostly just like a toy language or whatever, like basically the only person that's actually going to be fucking writing anything in it is going to be me, um because you know yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm doing too. Like I'm doing a lot of like figuring out what the um like I'm doing a lot of figuring out what the uh like some of the features that I'm going to want, right? Like I know for a fact that I'm going to want to have like there's a few weird things that I want, right? For one, I want the um I want the what is it? The memory system, right? The memory management. I want um I want the memory to be it's going to be scoped lifespan, right? So whenever an object exits a scope, it's freed, regardless if it's put on the stack or the heap. Basically, instead of only storing the information onto the heap onto the stack, it stores the signal of allocation and deallocation onto the stack, regardless of what it is. Right? So the cleanup is managed by the stack. So what you end up with is, but that does come with a few caveats. Like if objects are being escaped, but regardless of the, but what I came to realize is that if you have your main, right, if you have your right, if you have your main scope, right, this is the scope of the main, right, and in it you have your some objects, right, like you have You have some objects being allocated in here, right? These are getting cleared at the end, right? When this global scope ends, all this memory gets cleared out, so that's fine. Let's say inside you have, right, let's say that inside you have, a couple functions, right, which are some more scopes, some execution scopes, right? Because things like structs and classes and all that stuff, that's mostly data. I'm effectively going to be doing a compile time garbage collection. Is effectively what, like, at the highest order of, like, the highest level of abstraction, it's a compile time garbage collection, right? So there is no garbage collector that's actually running during runtime. I don't want runtime garbage collection, because runtime garbage collection makes I'm writing it to be a systems language, particularly with the mindset of game development, right? So one of the major things about game development is that you need to make sure that you have hold on, yeah, plug on my phone. Like, one of the things you have to do with game development is, like, one of the biggest things in game development is consistency is more important than raw power, right? Yeah. I mean, that happens too, right? So, like, consistency is more important. It's more important to know how much an operation is going to cost towards your frame budget than it is what the overall average is. You want low deviation, right? In video games, you want the minimal deviation in execution. Garbage collections are nice, but they hit, right? You get periodic and indeterministic hits to performance, right? So as a systems language, that's why systems language don't use fucking garbage collection. That's part of the reason why I wanted to get away from D-Lang, is because it's a garbage collection. It uses a garbage collector. C# uses a garbage collector. Fucking, what else? Lua, garbage collector. Python, garbage collector. Yeah. Yeah. The giant frame drops when entering a new area comes from, that comes from the inconsistent frame budget, compute budget. That's why you get those massive frame drops when entering a new area. Yeah. So I wanted, I wanted to have, like these things being in here, right? But one of the things is that if this ends up, right, if you create this variable and you then pass it into here, then this outer scope takes control of clearing up this object, right? And there is always going to be an outermost. There is always going to be some outermost system, an outermost, regardless of what happens between, different scopes and stuff. There's always some earliest common scope that an object can live in, right? That's something that will always be true, which is something that's, like, kind of super important. I also wanted to make sure that I had interoperability, so that I can use, like, I wanted to effectively be able to drag and drop in fucking, like, C libraries and C++ libraries and things like that. To be able to use software and libraries and code that already exists, right? um, yeah, I mean, like enforcing a manual memory management onto the programmer is perfectly fine too, right? You don't need to have a sophisticated memory manager. You can literally say, if it's not on the stack, deal with it yourself. That's literally what C++ does, you know. Yeah, it's very basic. It works. It's fine. Don't be a dumbass. But another thing that I wanted to do. Mm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I basically wanted as much compile time management as possible, and I figured that I feel like there's got to be some invariance in memory management that can be known at compile time, right? Or at least a very cheap, or a very cheap management, right? At runtime, because one of the things that you could do is that you can say, when a variable escapes, that information, the signal to deallocate, can then be canceled with a malloc, right? Like you can push a negation signal onto the deallocation, right? And then that way you can release another deallocation up higher in an outer scope, right? To kind of like release the outer scope and stuff. I also wanted it to be, I wanted the language to support the ability to extend the language itself within itself. So I want the ability to write primitives, to design your own primitives, right? You declare the byte layout, the individual bit, like the bit layout and the bit level operations, right? Effectively declaring the practically declaring the actual like assembly operations that define the behavior of your primitive. I wanted that to be a thing, so you can define your own primitives, define your own operators even. I'm still kind of iffy about defining operators. I don't really see like you end up getting like a lot of like namespace. Like you once you allow the community to write their own operators and types and shit, you run into, now you have to deal with collisions, right? Now you have to deal with naming collisions. Now you have to deal with whose posit do you want to use. And I feel like that is something, well, I mean, yeah, security. So, a lot of security stuff, but that's literally any piece of software, right? Using anyone else's code opens you up for security issues. Okay. Like that's just how software works. So that part is less of an issue, because it is not really a problem. It's just a fact of life. So dealing with the security of allowing Because the ability to allow for libraries and packages is why we have, is literally why C++ is so, ubiquitous. It's how software is created. You don't make software in a fucking vacuum, right? You use libraries, you use shit that others, much smarter people with way more money and time on their hands, were able to figure out 10 years, 20 years before you did, right? So it would be an egregious oversight to disallow the use of libraries, right? So the important part would be to be able to make the library creation to be as powerful as possible. Being able to extend and reshape the language on a very fundamental level would be an incredibly powerful tool that the community would be able to handle, right? It does mean that it becomes a much more niche language, right? Part of the reason why Go got as popular as it did is because of how strict the syntax is. The reason why Python got so popular is because of how strict it is. The reason why Rust got so popular is because of how strict it is, right? Not very many languages that are flexible survive. For whatever fucking reason, I don't understand. Right? I think it's largely because if you have a flexible... I don't fucking like Go. It reminds me too much of Python, and Python can go jump off a fucking cliff. I hate Python. Python fucking sucks, that's why I'm using Lua. Lua is better in every way. Right. I just feel like the reason why C++ dominates as a systems language is because of how flexible it is. Right? It does mean that there is... Yeah, I mean, a lot of languages don't survive. C++ dominates because of how flexible it is. Like, that's why it dominates. Right? The syntax is approachable enough. There's literally every library ever fucking made is available on C++. Right? And you can literally do whatever the fuck you want with C++. Right? The vast majority of languages that try to be C++ but less shit are literally only trying to solve the build system. And you can do that with, like, fucking Ninja. Right? Like, there are build systems out there. Or, like, Visual Studio. If you just use Visual Studio, you don't have to fucking worry about shit. Just use a fucking NuGet packaging. Just use NuGet. Done. Problem solved. Or whatever the fuck, Visual Studio uses. I don't use Visual Studio because A, I'm on Linux, and B, Microsoft can suck my left nutsack, and C, they just fucking forced, Copilot to handle your goddamn debugging, which means you have to pay for a fucking debugger, and that is dog shit. I'm sure there's ways of disabling it and just going back to the old school IntelliSense, but Jesus fucking Christ, it's aggravating. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I want Tungsten to have a core identity, right? I want Tungsten to be its own language. I don't want it to be, a dialect of C++. I don't want it to be, Rust, but with a better syntax. I don't want it to be, like... Yeah. Go's syntax is very similar to Python. So formatting actually fucking matters, and that's one of the things that I fucking despise. Like, yeah, it looks like Python, and I don't like it. No, I don't like it. Yeah. So, like, I have a lot of really interesting ideas with Tungsten. Being able to write your own Being able to write your own shit, because like the idea, like the community as a whole is going to be far more competent and capable than any singular entity. With a Canadian accent, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't want it to be Odin, but with like I don't want it to be like Odin, but with operator overloading capability. Like it's fucking stupid, right? Having a truly unique memory management system is a big part of that. I want it to be able to. I want to compile into a bytecode, right? That can be run through a JIT, like a tungsten JIT, so that you can just quickly share and have very rapid development. Yeah, spaces holding syntactical importance is one of the stupidest fucking things that I've ever had the displeasure of dealing with. Yeah. I could be wrong. But the last time I looked at Go, I saw that there were no, there were no end line delimiters. Yeah, spaces. I want to be able to format my fucking code, thank you very much. If I want to put every single individual keyword on a separate line, I should be able to do that. Okay? Like, I should be able to fucking do that shit. Thanks. I'm glad that someone else thinks so. Thank you. I've just thought about it a lot. Oh yeah, documentation being baked in, having unit tests being baked in are things that are so useful. Like that was something that I like the inline, language level documentation of Rust and C# is fucking incredible. Literally making it impossible for someone not to have the documentation for a library unless you didn't write it. Right? Like any reasonably competent, library writer of a library would want to include documentation. And just having it baked into the source code as a whole, and being able to share that shit, and being able to just be all like, yeah, hey, here's the thing, and it comes with the documentation, would be fucking astronomically incredible. I think I would want to have fucking hell. I don't know, because like I think unfocused, unorganized, right? Because here what I want to do is like have a per item collision handling, right? Because basically if two things have the same name, signature, flag for resolution, right? Because like if you had like two different posits, right? Yeah, I mean I like to do self-documenting code because I don't like doing documentation. Yeah, I mean, Unreal Engine is... I never messed with the C++ side. That was before I started going into C. Like, that was before... Like, I was using Unreal Engine before I was getting into C++. So I never really dealt with the C++ side of things. A lot of it was... Like, I took a look at it, and I was like, everything about this is like impossible for me to follow. Um, but I was able to follow blueprints just fine because anyone with like a summer class in programming, learning Scratch or something, or whatever the fuck the the Lego robotics kit was, whatever the fuck that shit was. Like if you messed around with the redstone, you'd be able to fucking figure out blueprints, right? Um, so like blueprints is super awesome. I love self-documenting code and things like that, but also um like it would be nice to have something along the lines of like a quick start or some shit, right? Things like flags of um like maybe even being able to um be able to as must include includes, like any like boilerplate stuff or whatever. Like like SDL, right? Um like being able to kind of like with SDL of functions, right? That would be fucking incredible, so that if you're doing something wrong, the documentation in the library that you are running automatically has these pragmas and these tags and these declarations that say, hey, you need to include this in your code somewhere, you're doing it wrong, and it just throws it in the LSP. Right? Like, this is an LSP level fucking debugging. Which, the earlier you can throw errors, the better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I've been doing game development for like 20 years. Even to throw them at your coworkers. Fucking yeet. Yeet, yeet, motherfucker. Like, there's just like so much involved. Like, I just find like I've been making games for like 20 years, right? Since around like 2005 ish, somewhere in that ballpark, and I've just gotten more and more interested in the nuts and bolts of games, right? Yeah, CryEngine. Oh, it's it's an engine. CryEngine's an engine. Um, Using Flash as your UI is one of the stupidest fucking decisions I could have ever made. I'm so fucking stupid. So dumb. I would love to punch whose ever idea that was in the fucking tooth. Hmm. The first engine that I used was ClickTeam, actually. ClickTeam Fusion. Which is the same engine that, what is it? Five Nights at Freddy's uses? And I also tell everyone, like, Fucking facts, Awen. Fucking facts. Hmm. Interesting. I want to use it even fucking less if it's if it's managed by Amazon. Sounds like fucking ass. Because it was completely free to use. Hmm. I think it was, yeah, I think it was either completely free to use or it was just like $10 lifetime. Okay. Lumberyard. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, no, like I've done modding and all kinds of shit. I'm just very interested in how games, fundamentally like how games work, right? So, you know, I decided that I was going to have, I was going to go down the rabbit hole of how, id Software made their games and stuff like that. So, Turn is entirely based off of Wolfenstein 3D. It uses the same rendering algorithm. Because Love 2D doesn't have it doesn't have 3D support. But here we go. Here's a 3D game in a 2D engine. Get fucked, right? Um, just because like I want, there is a game that I want to make at some point. Um, it's technically like a revamp of a game that was abandoned in 2014. Starforge, which is Minecraft meets Halo. And when I first heard it, I thought it was not like it's a rendering rewrite or anything. I mean, yeah, basically, yeah. Um, yeah, like it's just like, yeah, it's super clever. I just love how clever it is. No, I'm not using any self-modifying code because you can't really do that in GLSL. Um, or anything like that. I'm just like I like as soon as I learned about the raycasting rendering engine and followed the pipeline to where it ended up with Doom 2, I think was the last one I used it. Because Quake, I think, uses full mesh rendering. But it also still uses BSPs for low-level data, right? And then that's mostly because of collision detection. It's very, very easy to test for collisions against the BSP, right? Tabs or spaces? Tabs. I mean, tabs. It's just faster for me to hit the tab. I mean, it also just... it just makes more sense. Like, it doesn't... You're already using spaces to separate your words. Like, come on. I would also be using two space. I would be doing two space indentation, but I'm. I mean, I'm gender fluid, so, and also depending on context, man is just fucking gender neutral anyway. It doesn't fucking matter. I don't give a shit. Um, my pronouns are any all, so I don't care. I really don't give a shit. This vote stays winning. This they them stays winning. I mean, I've got my programmer socks that came with my Arch installation. Which I'm actually not a very okay. I do like Arch. I like the idea of Arch. Right. hmm Like Arch is a fine distro. Um, the AUR is very well put together and maintained and managed. So the package support is fine. It's just that the Arch version of a lot of things aren't quite as good as the Ubuntu versions. For instance, OBS. The OBS version for Ubuntu is far more featureful than the one for Arch. And I don't feel like dealing with what the conversion would have to be in order to go from Ubuntu into Arch. Right? It's just not worth it for me. It's just too much fucking work. I don't give a shit. Yeah. Yeah, like there's a lot of tweaks, and because of how bare bones Arch is by design, which is part of the reason why I like it. Right? It's like here is the like Arch is literally just build your own Linux with extra steps. Right? It's just like a slightly automated build your own Linux, right? Which I like. I like that. So it's very stripped down, it's very bare bones, it's very basic, it's very lean, which for a 15-year-old computer is great, right? The rolling release, however, has absolutely royally fucked me over on several occasions. Right? FreeBSD. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean there's that too, right? I'm just like super lazy. I like and with the recent fucking bullshit with the age verification fucking nonsense. Arch is yielding. The last that I've heard, Arch is yielding. Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of the biggest thing that I had issues with Arch, especially when it came to the Wi-Fi. Arch bricks its own Wi-Fi almost constantly, and that's something that I don't. I want to use my computer, not be constantly fixing it, right? So yeah, like it's fine, but you know, I still need to eat it off of this fucking thing. I'm gonna rebuild the grub loader. I need to see if there's any other files I need to port over, because I am dual booting Arch and Mint. I like Mint. Mint is fine. I think technically speaking, it would probably be better if I just did Ubuntu with Xface. Because like I like Xface. I really love Plasma. KDE Plasma is probably one of my favorite desktop environments, to be honest. It's just nice. it's just nice. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like how I started feeling with fucking Windows. You know, just constantly running maintenance on your fucking Windows machine because Microsoft doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. is they lost everyone that was actually fucking worth a damn. They started to smell the bullshit from a mile away and started making their own companies. Making their own far more successful, companies. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just fucking works. Like, is it a little bit behind the bleeding edge? Yeah. Sure. If you do just like raw Ubuntu and install, like, because you can do like a raw Ubuntu installation and do like Cinnamon or whatever on top of it. Like, you can do all kinds of things. A much more up-to-date system, but I like the fact that it's not constantly bleeding edge, because staying in the bleeding edge is how you break shit. Yeah, KDE is, oh god, KDE is so good, but Xface is just faster. Xface is just a lot leaner. Xface is just noticeably more responsive.
Time to stretch.
Yeah, I know, I need a stretch. Xface is a lot leaner, it's noticeably more responsive on a 15-year-old machine. Okay. Like, I'm running the stream at 10 frames per second at 480p, because anything more than that, and oh. Yeah. Because anything more than that, my fucking computer will set itself on fire. It's great. But my other one is... yes, new person. Yes. And an alien. Oh. You can see you can see the processor that I'm running. It's an i5 M450. Also, I'm gonna get some more coffee. So I will be right back. Oh. Yes. I mean, we're all idiots. We're all fucking idiots. I can't tell you how many times I'm just like, why isn't this fucking working? Why isn't it working? And then there's a little asterisk in the title bar next to the file name. Oh, I gotta put on a sweater. Oh. Yeah. 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 Oh. But I mean, you're learning. I mean, you're doing really good in a very short period of time. So, hmm, gender and tropic. I like it. Hmm, nice, nice, nice. Gotta get that calculus in. Yeah, I mean, you are like you picked up, not just like the programming, but just the ideas of game design very quickly. Like I'm pretty much just there for moral support more than anything else, and just pointing out a few things here and there. You've been doing a really good job. I'm very impressed. I mean, it's not just that, but also like you haven't been like yielding to yeah, I mean yeah. that too. Um yeah. Comp sci AA, yeah. But yeah, like it's not just like the chat and all that stuff. A lot of it's just like pointing out a few things here and there. Um Answering like some well actually we haven't really you're not making a game that's going to require any heavy math or anything. Because you're not doing anything with vectors like at all. You're not doing any like you don't need the dot product for fucking anything. Um, I didn't even think for the uh for the RPG side of things, you're not gonna need like linear algebra for that. Um, you're not doing like a physics or anything, so. Oh Jesus fucking Christ! Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty mad at myself that I didn't start adopting Git until very recently. So, like, I've lost a lot of projects that were actually pretty decent. Granted, like, I have made a game. I just never like actually released it or anything like that. Um, I don't think like at the time I really could have because this was back in like 2014, and I didn't really know how to do all that stuff. So it's not like it wasn't like available on Steam because back then it was all like Greenlight and stuff. It's not like it is today, where you just make a deposit and then you can just upload it immediately. You had to get like approval, and it was like this whole process. And I think I made it just before Steam started Steam Greenlight. On top of that, and I think shortly after that, I ended up losing my job, so I couldn't have even paid the $100 for it. I did end up getting Greenlight anyway. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's just like the whole ecosystem for independent game design and development has just changed drastically in more recent years. You know, like yeah, sure, like I was a little bit too early. Um, I looked at it, I couldn't find it. I'll just have to look again and see. Like I joined the server and all that stuff, but I haven't really had time to really sit down and like look or reply or anything like that. I'll just have to give it another look. And yeah, again, super appreciate um I super appreciate you looking out for that because I need a job. I need a job. Um, yeah, I mean, like we all grow as programmers the more we do it. You know, like a lot of my recent stuff is not the greatest, but you know, yeah, it's just I'm tired of standing behind a cash register. I'm tired of standing behind the counter of a gas station, and I can't even fucking do that right now either. So, everyone keeps saying, "Oh, no one wants to work, but no one's fucking hiring." So where the fuck is like, yo, it's, ugh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I honestly, I kind of miss working at gas stations a little bit. Um, just as long as you have good management. Like I can deal with shitty customers a lot better than I can deal with shitty managers. Um, I've definitely become a lot less tolerant of bullshit from management. I know for a fact that if I hear, I swear to God, if I'm waiting and I hear some bullshit with like my hiring manager and shit, again, like I'm going to say something. Two good managers and one of them is only okay. Yeah. I mean, it's also largely like your direct manager is like more important to have be a person. You know what I mean? Like a person. Um, because otherwise it is so rough. It is so fucking rough. I still have no goddamn clue what it is that I want to be doing with this fucking project anymore. Because like I mean, a lot of this is trying to nail down the look and feel. Because like that's like a very large part of it. I want to do. I don't know if I could do audio processing with Love though. I don't know if I could do audio processing. Because if I can do audio processing, then I would generate static and do EQ envelopes and shit like that. I don't know. Because like a big part of that is going to be having like a wide and narrow view, and there's a lot of other things with that too. So it's um, yeah. I mean, this floor texture is fairly okay. I don't know if I like this more or less. Because at this point, it's just like a bunch of squiggles instead of like more blobular. But the blobs were really easy to spot. Like the periodic blobs are like super obvious. This is still fairly obvious, but it's not quite as rough, I don't think. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I want to. This floor, I mean, and also with the static on, you can't tell. Like, it's super nitpicky. Only when the static is off. Right? Like, this is clean and blue, and this is white and dirty. And that dirtiness helps a lot with the fidelity. You know? So. And I could do a lot of the same stuff. Like, because like doing real-time audio processing is, I don't know if that's something that'll be particularly feasible with a project like this. And on top of that, I don't know. Yeah, I feel that. Like this is called Kern, QRN, and that's because it's the Morse, it's the radio code for are you bothered by static? Like are you bothered by static? I mean that too. Um, yeah, I mean same thing with like tungsten. It took me a while to come up with the idea for tungsten. I thought it'd be cool to do like a periodic table thing, a lot like how carbon, you know, carbon is C, carbon. And I just like tungsten because um, its elemental symbol is not, you know, yeah, yeah, it is very Microsoft Maze screensaver. I mean, it basically uses the same fucking shit, so. Because I'm pretty sure that the maze just uses the same algorithm that Wolf 3D uses. Just because, like, that's the smart thing to do. I still have no fucking clue what else I want to do. Like, what is next? What is the next thing that I need to and what's next? Because like the goal, making a goal would be nice, but I don't know. Very wide angle. Save the bandwidth, I guess. This floor came out pretty good though. I keep toggling back and forth. Like sometimes I really love how this floor looks, and other times I think it looks like shit. like, like, because I feel like the periodicity is too obvious. Like it's like it seems too like obvious to me. I feel like I need to use because I could do gradient noise. Because I could do gradient noise and overlay it and still have the same kind of things, because if I sunk it in and then did the absolute value, it would allow for the same kind of look, right? Because if I just made it go from -1 to 1 and then took the absolute value of it, it would be fine. And then did 1 minus x all to the power of like 5. Like 1 minus x to the power of 5. And that would also help bloop it out a little. Right, that's basically what I'm doing here. No, that's bricks. One-fifth. Interesting. I'm going to do 1/10. Huh. Yeah, this is a lot more apparent. I don't know what I'm doing wrong now. All these guys are a lot sharper. Because I could like push everything up more. Yeah, but I still feel like I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. What happens if I leave it linear? Right? I mean, this is definitely a very interesting texture. Yeah, because if I do it too much, then it's gonna lose literally all the variation, especially under static. So anyway, uh, so it is time to do a little bit of a reedy doodle. Once I eventually get to my Twitch app. Yeah. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, awesome. That would be most appreciated. Yeah.